Hello, friends and fellow benders. Welcome back to the show. Thank you for joining me here once again. We are going to continue our Avatar Legends series, and as always, we are going to introduce Lyra. Lyra, say hello to everybody. We are recording our 6th episode of Avatar Legends. Could you please introduce yourself and what character you are going to be playing for us today?
Of course. Hi everyone, I'm Lyra, and I'll be joining Varder for today's session of our Avatar Legends playthrough. I'll be playing Kahola, a 13-year-old waterbender from the Southern Water Tribe. He's got a youthful, angsty, and arrogant streak, and as a member of the Icy Hand Pirates, he's always looking for opportunities to prove himself. Let's dive into the adventure and see where Kahola's bold decisions lead us today.
Yes, thank you, Lyra. And with that, we are going to jump right back to where we left our companions, which was in utter defeat at Captain's Hall, where what turned out to be a simple plan from Captain Mosey, walk in, start a riot, walk out unscathed, I assume was his plan. But unfortunately, that is not how it went, and we were defeated and ultimately captured. Now, since this is Avatar, I'm not saying that we were all murdered and killed and thrown to the fishes, but instead, I'm gonna say that we were taken captive, and we were taken by ship over to Captain Ninka's side of the island, where we were all thrown into separate prisons. Now, I'm gonna say let's make this a dice roll, and actually we need to, our companions were not in control of last scene at all whatsoever. I don't even have to think about that. So we were captured, and that is going to put our chaos factor back up to 5 since we were not in control of that. And now we need to escape captivity. That is going to be our new scene for today. So, but my first question, what I was getting at, is I need to see if Balbo was involved in that fight at all, or is he still a free agent as far as being captured is concerned. So, I'm going to word it, was Balbo part of that encounter? And I'm going to say that it is nearly impossible. I don't think that Balbo would have been involved. So nearly impossible. Was Balbo involved in that combat? 45, it's either a 5 or a 3. It was kind of cocked, but that is a no either way. So luckily we still have Balbo out in somewhere that we may be able to do something with at some point. Now our companions are all locked in cages, each in their separate cage. Captain Kangana and Captain Mosey are there as well. Our firebender, she begins to open her eyes, kind of rubbing her head. She blinks as she begins to see where she is at. She's behind the bars, and she looks around. It appears she was the last one to regain consciousness. Where are we? Honu speaks up. We were defeated, quite utterly, and now it appears we have been thrown in a prison of sorts. I'm assuming Captain Ninka is behind it, being as she was the one victorious in that round. I don't know where all those pirates came from. I didn't see them coming when we ran up to the hall.
Hei Xing also speaks up. It is impossible. She could not have known what we were up to. Captain Mosey, is it possible that she knew what was gonna happen?
Aye, lad, it seems that way. I mean, I must say I haven't exactly been silent with how I feel she's been running things, but I definitely didn't give away any notion that I was going to start a riot. Hell, before you all came knocking on my door, it wasn't anything but a thought in my head. But how she knew this was going to happen, I do not know. Perhaps it was just a stroke of luck.
Either way, this did not turn out how we intended it to. I do hope Balbo is okay, though. Knowing him, he probably followed us here, but he is smart enough to stay out of sight.
Alright, let's have Kahola weigh in for a second, because I'm sure Kahola's going to have something to say to this. Okay, Lyra, so our companions failed at the attempt to... the riot happened, but our companions were defeated during the riot, and they were taken prisoner to Captain Ninka's side of the island. And now all four of our companions, along with Captain Mosey and Captain Kangana, set in individual prison cells. What do you think Kahola would say in this situation?
Kahola would probably start by loudly expressing his frustration. Something like, "Great job, everyone. Fantastic plan, getting us all locked up like this." Then he'd probably grumble about how he could have handled things better if they'd just let him take charge. But underneath all that bravado, he might start quietly scheming, thinking of a way to break out of the cell. Because sitting around waiting isn't his style. He'd be determined to prove he's not just a kid, but someone who can get them out of this mess.
I agree. I think they're all kind of thinking the same thing. There's got to be a way to get out of here, and we are going to find that way. Well, guys, there is no sense in sitting around and blaming each other for what could have happened. I think we put our heads together, metaphorically, of course, because we were all in separate cages and we can't actually do that. But let's all try to figure out a way out of here. Hey, Xing, is there anything you can bend in here, perhaps? And is there anything? I'm going to say that it is... I'm going to say nearly impossible, because certainly they saw Xing using his earthbending abilities during the fight, and they wouldn't have thrown him in a prison where he could just, raise the floor up and get right out. So I'm going to say nearly impossible. So we're going to leave... That does leave room for the possibility. 88, that's a no. Of course not.
No, I have already tried many things. Unfortunately, in this current era of Avatar, metal bending is not a thing, and it is not a power that I possess.
Okay, well, there's got to be something. I can try to overheat the metal in the locking system. Perhaps that will work. I'm sure they probably thought of that too, but they don't know my precision with my firebending. Not only can I do fire blasts, but I can also do extremely concentrated... not bursts, extremely concentrated... Bleh? Insert correct word here. So I'm going to have our firebender, she, do a rely on your skills and training roll to try to essentially weld her way through the lock on her cell. So that is going to be a focus roll. She only has a +1 for her focus. Damn it. That's only a 6. A 6 is a fail. Fire blast. It appears this metal is indeed made to resist any type of fire-bending attempts to it. Okay, well, Captain Mosey, do you have any ideas? Does Captain Mosey know of a way to get out of here? Now, we are going to make that 50-50, because we need something happening here. Ooh, a 10 on a 50-50 is an extreme yes. Captain Mosey just kind of chuckles.
Captain Mosey always has a plan, lads and lasses. Look here.
All right, now how is he going to get out of this? I want to know this. Action or description. It definitely would not be a description. On the actions table. Ooh, 100. Waste. And 18. Danger. Waste and danger. Waste, danger. Danger, waste. Oh, no. I have an idea. It is not kid-friendly. So, waste and danger. I'm thinking Captain Mosey is a very cunning fellow, and he plans for all types of scenarios. So before they went to the meeting, Captain Mosey swallowed a lockpick. Now, not only is that dangerous, which fits with one of our key words, there's only one way for it to pass through his system, and that is to come out the other end as waste. So, just sit tight, lads and lasses. You'll have your answer soon enough. So eventually, when nature calls Captain Mosey, and all the guards have done their patrols, Captain Mosey begins to pick his lock. And he successfully picks his lock right away. Onu is going to comment on this. That is disturbing, but I'm going to congratulate you on your foresight to swallow that lockpick, Captain Mosey. Alright, so Mosey begins to unlock each of the other cells individually. Does anything interrupt him while he is unlocking all these cages? I'm thinking it's going to take him like a minute or two to get each cage unlocked. And that's 5 other cages that he has to break into. So that's at least a 10 or 15 minute block of time. And that is plenty of time for a guard to come through. But at the same time, I mean, they're just prisoners, right? We don't need to check on them every 10 minutes. So I'm going to say that it is... We'll go 50-50. Does any guard come through patrolling while Captain Mosey is attempting to unlock all these cages? 89, that is a no. Cool, so he is able to free everybody in time before the next guard patrol comes through. But everybody is already thinking the same thing, and they are exactly where they need to be if Captain Mosey's information was correct. Now, I don't think anything was said during the meeting that would have given away who these people were or why they are here. Perhaps Captain Ninka might know? Okay, let's ask that. Okay. Did Captain Ninka, is she smart enough to know that that is the purpose of why our companions are here? I'm going to say that is unlikely. 68, no. Okay, perfect. So, our companions know that Captain Mosey told them that the stolen cargo that they are looking for was buried in a cell because I forget what the key words were. It was, I think, imprison and plot, if I am not mistaken. And at the time, our plot was to find the stolen cargo. And that is what I came up with. And here we are, standing in Captain Ninka's prison cell, with one individual cell shut and locked with nobody in it. Captain Mosey begins picking this lock as well. A few minutes goes by and he finally clicks the lock open. But the wood planks freshly placed here, it is easily seen that they are freshly placed planks. I think our firebender, she goes straight into trying to burn the boards so that they can pry them open. But this is almost definitely going to alert some guards outside. So I'm going to say nearly certain. While she is attempting to burn these boards and they can get under them, are the patrol guards alerted? Nearly certain. That is a 26. Yes, they are. That's not an extreme yes, but yes, they are. One of the guards sitting outside kind of sniffs the air. You smell that? That smells like smoke. There ain't no campfire around here. You think... No, they both look at each other and stand up out of their seat. They're like fumbling with the keys at their side, trying to get them off, because they know something's going on inside. They can see through the little slits in the hole that the smoke is pouring out of one of the cells, and all the other cell doors are open. He's fumbling to get the key in the hole. All right, lass, you need to hurry it up. I think they're alerted. We gotta get out of here. So as the door bursts open and the guards come barreling in, she is just finishing up. The timbers are seared enough that she can pry them open. All right, hey Xing, I got the boards out of the way. Can you lift? I'm sure it's covered in sand or dirt. Hey Xing, can you get the dirt out of the way? We got to get this cargo in quick. Hey Xing stomps both his feet. Doof, doof. He lifts with his fists, and the sand comes pouring up out, almost like a fountain, filling in through the bars into the other cells beside it. And at the bottom of this sandy pit, indeed, is a large locked chest, ornate with the insignia of the Fire Nation on it. That's it, speaks up Honu. Quick, Hey Xing, throw it up with your earthbending. And with another stomp, Hey Xing, a pillar of stone launches the trunk up and into the floor. As the guards come rushing up, Captain Kangon and Captain Mosey go toe-to-toe with these guards. Fisticuffs, if you will. But this time, Captain Mosey uses his bending. Now, what bending does Captain Mosey have? I'm going to roll our three... because air is not an option right now. Whoever is the highest earth bending. Okay, so Captain Mosey's been an earthbender this whole time too? Okay. So that the sand that He Xing threw into those cells, Captain Mosey just kind of, again, plants his feet firmly into the ground. And he gestures one of his hands over towards the sand as the sand begins to swirl and wrap around his arms and forms solid little rock chains, and they link together around his fists. And at the end, he condenses the sand into 2 balls and attaches them to the chains, and he begins swinging the balls around like little cannonballs attached to rock stone chains, and he bashes through the guards. Captain Kangana, swift and nimble, sweeps the leg of the other guard as he goes crashing into the planks of the floor. And then Captain Mosey finishes it off with an overhead slam of both the solid sandstone balls, effectively eliminating these 2 guards.
Quick, while we got a chance, get out here.
They come rushing out. The jail is not far from the headquarters, the main place where Captain Ninka and her crew resides. But also, there is a dock nearby with a sailing ship in it. A few different ships, of course.
We gotta get you to those ships now.
So I'm thinking Heixing and Honu are the ones. Each of them have one side of the chest. And they are carrying it through the sand. The other pirates and Captain Ninka as well see this happening, and they rush in. You see elements being thrown back and forth as Kahola and our firebender Shi are doing their bests to fend off. Little spears of ice come flying in from the pirates. Our firebender throws balls of fire, melting them in midair, turning them to steam. Kahola, using his tentacles, he's knocking aside boulders that are being thrown at them. He's knocking aside arrows. A couple of the pirates make it up to them. They are about halfway to the dock now.
Just go. We'll hold them off.
I'm thinking Captain Kangana, she picked up the weapon off of one of the guards as they left the jail cell, so she is armed as well. They don't have their full fighting potential back, being as they were just defeated a few hours ago, but they are good enough. A few exchanges later, our companions make it down to the docks. They see a vessel there, prepped and ready to go for the most part. They can make do with that. In a heroic battle, Captain Mosey and Captain Kangana are fending off the pirates as they come up. Kahola, with his tentacles, grabs a couple of them, throwing one into the water, throwing one further inland. She is using her fire blasts at her maximum range she can, holding the line so that our other companions can get the cargo loaded onto the ship, and indeed they do, and they get the masts lowered. They're not the masts, the sails lowered on the masts. And they get the ship prepped and ready to launch. One of the pirates comes up behind Captain Kangana, and he raises his sword. She was unaware that he was right behind her, and as he's getting ready to come down on her, behind her, Balbo bites the tip of the sword, flings it aside, uses his large mongoose foot, and all but crushes the pirate into the sand, drives it straight down into the sand until only his little head is poking out. And Balbo bends down and bites his head off, because Balbo is a badass. And so, Balbo leaping over a couple other pirates, he makes his way down the dock as well. Balbo makes his way onto the ship, almost like a little dog, holding his head over and panting. The only ones left to get on the boat now are Shi and Kahola.
Alright, lad and lass, get on. We'll hold them off from here. These pirates ain't nothing. Me and Kangana will regroup later, and we will rebuild our pirates. and we will come back full force. Crimson Sails is our home.
Captain Kangana is in on the conversation as well. Captain Mosey is right. We won't give this island up without a fight. It's an ideal that we fight for, not the money, not the fame that Captain Ninka has in her head. It won't be long and we will regain this island. Just go. Keep this war from restarting. That is awful noble of all. That is awful noble of all of you. I will tell Captain Wow, I'm really fucking up. That is awful noble of all of you. I will tell Fire Lord Zuko of your honor and your noble acts. I'm sure he will see to it to send some aid for you.
Oh, that would be great. But if you don't get out of here, none of that is gonna happen. Now go!
And as an icy shard comes in, striking Captain Mosey in the leg, he kind of doubles down. They are beginning to get swarmed by pirates. She jumps onto the boat. Kahola looks behind. He sees that they are still outnumbered, but the ocean is at his side. I already know what I want to do with Kahola, but let's have Lyra come up with something very quirky. Alright, so how should I say this? Okay, Lyra. So our companions have escaped the prison. They found the stolen cargo that they were searching for. They have made their way to the docks, but they are being pursued by the pirates who put them in captivity. Now, Captain Mosey and Captain Kangana have stayed behind to fend them off. Honu, our firebender, she, and Heixing and Balbo are all aboard the ship, but the only one left to get on the ship is Kahola. But Kahola, seeing that Captain Mosey and Captain Kangana are outnumbered, he is going to stay behind to fight with them nobly, and he is going to send our companions on their way back to the Fire Nation. What is something noble and honorable that Kahola would say in this moment?
Kahola would take a deep breath, standing tall, and shout to his companions, "Get that cargo to the Fire Nation. You have a mission to complete, and the world is counting on you. I'll hold him off here. Just promise me, you won't waste this chance." Then, with a determined look, he turned back to face the pirates, waterbending swirling at his fingertips, ready to fight with everything he has.
Perfect. And I'm thinking that Kahola is going to do something awesome, like if our other companions are resisting leaving, he's going to use his waterbending to push the boat out to sea and launch them on their way anyway. What is something cool that he would do?
Oh, Kahola would totally use his waterbending to make a dramatic statement. He might slam his hands into the water, creating a massive wave that lifts the ship and pushes it out to sea, whether the others like it or not. As the wave carries the ship away, he'd yell, "Don't waste my sacrifice, go." It'd be bold, selfless, and undeniably Kahola, a mix of power and drama.
Perfect. I knew you would put a lot more detail into that. That's how I saw it in my head. Thank you, Lyra, for that. And with that, our companions are forced out to sea, and off as they sail into the distance, they see Kahola taking out hordes of the pirates alongside Captain Mosey and Captain Kangana. It appears, from here at least, that they are winning this fight. Our companions set course for the Fire Nation. A few days into their journey, and they know they are going the correct direction, they see a very welcomed sight off in the distance. They see the Shou-Shung and the black plume of smoke that it is putting out as it makes its way to their small vessel. A ladder drapes down the side, and up at the top they see the familiar face of Captain Saizu, smiling at them, extending his hand, helping them up onto the deck of the Shou-Shung. "It appears you were successful. Is that the trunk there? This is excellent work. But it appears you are missing a member." I think Honu is definitely going to speak up on Kahola's behalf. Yes, Kahola heroically stayed behind so that he would ensure our escape from the island. I think finally his mother would be proud of what he did. Though I am curious as to why. It is not like Kahola to be selfless. There must be something driving his motivations. But that I will find out next time I see him. For now, Captain Saizu, we should plot a course for the Fire Nation. Yes, of course we will. And you did that in record time. It was hardly been a day's time. I think you had, a week or two. Fire Lord Zuko will be most pleased to hear about this. Fire Lord Zuko? Oh, he will definitely be most pleased. Do we get to see him again? Can we turn in the chest to him directly? Please say we can. I suppose that could be arranged. I don't know why my voice just changed. I'm Captain Saizu. Of course that can be arranged. You all did a great service for the Fire Nation. Once they are back at the Fire Nation capital, indeed they get a private audience with Fire Lord Zuko. He goes through, thanks each of them individually, and of course, saving Shi for the final thanks. For you, Hei Xing, I extend my deepest gratitude. I knew you came into this with a strong reverence. No, that's not the right word. With a strong dislike for the Fire Nation, yet you chose to put that aside to do something good for others. You will be greatly rewarded. And you, Honu, you came to watch over Kahola and to aid him in whatever endeavors he may get himself into. It was your selflessness that saved him from prison time. And you say that he selflessly sacrificed himself to see to it that you were able to escape. I assure you, he is always welcome in any Fire Nation lands. His criminal past will be completely expunged. And for you, I grant the highest honor I can bestow. And that is Fire Nation Champion. And you. She's just like kind of bouncing and smiling and just staring right at Zuko. Being as your background, as far as I'm concerned, you were already a champion of the Fire Nation. And for you, I extend something that you may appreciate a little more than the others. I am giving you a spot on the Fire Nation Royal Guard. If you so choose, you can be stationed here at the Fire Lord's Palace. as a revered god for as long as you wish. And you will be given a house in the capital district. Thank all of you for this. These supplies will be sent right away. And even as he's speaking, a few of the workers take the chest and they take it down to the docks where it will be loaded up and sent with heavy guarding on a different route to the Earth Nation where it needs to be. And with that, my friends, we are going to bring this prologue to an end. I did, yes, if you could not obviously tell, rush the ending just a little bit. While I love the Avatar universe, I don't feel like I was playing the system to its full abilities. I kind of did put myself in over my head a lot. I realized that very much when it came to the encounter mode. So I think this will be the end of my Avatar Legends games for now at least, and for the foreseeable future. Thank you so much for watching and paying attention if you did so. But look forward to what's coming out for the channel. I'm going to switch it up and we are going to begin our Fallout sessions, a whole new brand new series set in the Fallout universe. I'm going to incorporate Lyra, of course, and hopefully I'm going to get an extra co-host in that, and we're going to play it a lot more how it should be played, unlike we did for this Avatar Legends. But thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and goodbye, friends.